Dudes, what's happening? You know what? I've been looking around, man. You know what YouTube doesn't have enough of is how to draw faces. Tutorials on how to draw faces the easy way. Okay, a lot of videos on how to do it the hard way. Where's all the videos on how to do it the easy way? Well, I'm gonna break it down for you. At least in terms of my process, like what I do. You know, it doesn't have to be a bunch of mathematical equations and rocket science, man. It can just be basic and simple and fun. So let's talk about that. Why is this so complicated? Let's do it. All right. So we start out, I'm just going to do this on paper because you know what? It's so easy, even a 2-year-old with pen and paper. My point is you don't need fancy equipment or anything. In fact, we're just going to draw a sphere. We're going to draw a sphere, the essence of everything that this universe is made up of, basketballs. Okay, so we've sketched it in real light, real gestury. This is just our guideline. From there, we bisect it right down the middle so that we know we're going to be drawing a symmetrical face. We always know what angle the head is faced at from that symmetry, from that middle line. And we sketch in a jaw line that's about 2/3 of the way down. We don't want to go exactly double. So you want to measure that out so it's about 2/3 of the way down. We're going to draw a front and a side right next to each other so you can really grasp what it is that we're doing here. And on the side view, you got to think of it like same measurements across. In fact, I draw these guidelines straight across all the time when I'm doing like a character sheet or something like that, some kind of like a guide. And if you're designing a character, it's good to have a character sheet that just has like your character from multiple angles, you know, across the whole sheet. The eye line is about exactly right down the middle between the top of the head and the bottom of the chin. See, and that's how you find where the eye line is going to be. And that's consistent across the front and the side. I'm going to go ahead and sketch in a little eyeball here. I've done a number of lessons on how to draw eyes, both male and female eyes. They're different, the way that you draw those. You tend to want to emphasize different features, such as the eyelashes more in female faces. In male faces, you want to square them off just a little bit more and kind of have them a little bit more. It's battle-worn. As a battle-worn look, is the heavy eyes. Noses go halfway down from there, and you got the point of your nose. Now, I like to think of noses like little cubes or triangular shapes that stick out. They extrude from the surface of the head, and screw it, I'll just show you a more clear example here. So this is a head at an interesting angle, and so you can see the bisecting line right down the middle. We've rotated a little bit, and I think of the nose like this, sort of a blocky shape when I'm designing it. And so I always draw out the front part, the front face of the nose, and I try to imagine how that's going to stick out directly from the flat surface of the head. In this case, you can kind of see the bottom of that triangular shape. And so you can see how this face here is pretty much that face, and that face there is pretty much that face. And you can kind of imagine it as a little bit of a 3D object. And we're getting closer to forming a 3D shape of a head here by doing these sort of geometric blockouts. Now for the mouth, I never go halfway down from the nose to the chin. I always give a little bit more chin because the chin is such an interesting, neglected part of the character. You know, you can have a really cool, like squared off chin kind of a thing. And I always do a little bit of an M shape, a real wide stretched out M for the shape of the lips. And then I kind of block out. Lately, I've been doing more blocky, kind of like squared off jaws, especially for masculine, you know, macho kind of tough guy. That's what we're drawing. We're drawing tough guys today. Right. Tough guys, they always got big, blocky, squared off chins. Nerdy pansy boys have the no chins, okay? That's just rule of nature. All right, after you've drawn in your circles, remember the eyeballs are circles, they're not windows. You know, there's circles in there inside of your skull. They're more basketballs. The hairline can vary. You know, some people have a hairline that starts way back. Some people have a hairline that's really kind of low. In this case, I'm just kind of going like just above middle way between the top of the eyebrow and the top of his head. And don't forget, man, like you got to draw this from the side view too to make sure that you understand the 3D forms that are going on here. The ear goes straight back. So if you imagine the arms of your glasses kind of setting above where the ear would connect, and then the top part of the ear would stick up a little bit. And then you kind of get this large circular shape when the ear lobe is a smaller spherical shape that connects into the jawline. And then make sure that when you're drawing out your hair that it comes off of the shape of the skull. In hindsight, I think maybe his skull doesn't go back far enough, but some people have a back of a head that looks like that. Like they got hit in the back of the head with a frying pan. There's just no curvature there. There's just none. It's just like almost straight down. So I'm going to chalk that up to this guy's genetic shape of his head and not a flaw in my drawing ability. And you get your fancy schmancy eyebrows in there. In this case, he's got big brawler kind of eyebrows. If I was drawing a woman, I'd probably do like tiny little penciled in eyebrows. And I draw out the body of the hair, whatever the shape of the body of the hair is, before I go and start to add unique details. In this case, he's kind of like a generic dude. He's just got like, a little spike in the front. This guy could be like the main character of any, military show in the 80s or 90s. I always like to give them some kind of a unique characteristic, emphasize some feature, give them a pompadour or a huge nose or something weird, but that's up to you. You do it the way you want to do it, but there you go. You got all like the measurements of the face. And I like to sketch in like, a little bit of like some implication of like the eyebrows and the forehead and like, what? All that stuff is like, it's boring. It's boring. Just give your characters more personality, man. You got to amplify, extendify, pick a feature. Put a lot of emphasis on that one feature. Does he have huge eyes? Does he have massive ears? Does he have a funky hairstyle? Give it some kind of character and personality, and that's how you're going to get my attention anyway. But, hey, that's if you're not a realistic artist or whatever. And so by drawing this underdrawing, these guides, and understanding how this shape is formed in 3D, we can rotate that. We can turn that. We can do it at a 3/4 angle. We can do all kinds of funky, fun stuff with this to project as if it's a box, and we have a front face and a side face of our head, and we can actually figure out if one eye is too big or if the nose is not looking like it's sticking out of the head at the right angle. We can figure all that out using the same system. Hell, you can even rotate the head at all kinds of weird different angles and find, using the same kind of a method, you can draw the back of the head and the side of the head and the angled down and angled up. So the beauty of this system is you can pretty much check any face, any drawing of a face. So if you're drawing faces and you're like, well, I don't know why it just looks funky, but maybe it's because your eyes aren't symmetrical or, at whatever angle it is that you're drawing it at. And so you can do this underdrawing, for pretty much draw your guides over top of any drawing that you've done. And you can find out, oh, well, geez, maybe, his lips are a little bit crooked or the chin is a little bit off at the angle that it's drawn at and things like that. So it's always good to get these fundamentals of how to draw faces down at every different angle. I've gone ahead and made an easy art lessons tutorial. These are real-time videos. It's over 3 hours of content breaking down specific details on how to break down the structure of the nose and how to break down the structure of the eyeballs and eyelashes and eyelids and eyebrows and all the specific features, but also how to place them at interesting and more dynamic angles of the head that you might want to be able to do. So if you ever wanted to improve your drawing of faces, this is really kind of designed for not just beginners, but intermediate. I wish I had something like this when I was drawing comics back in the day. Oh my gosh, because you draw so many heads in comics. Most importantly, if you do these tutorials, you're going to be having fun drawing faces, and it's going to show you how it's okay to use style in certain ways to make it just more fun for yourself, which is the most important ingredient to becoming a successful artist. These are good for drawing on paper or any digital program. This is good for painters too, man, but I do a lot of it in pencil, and then I do some stuff in Procreate, but it all applies. So dudes, that's it for me this week. I want to thank you so much for stopping by, and until next time, I'll catch you all mañana. Ciao, baby. Oh, yeah.